All right, and we're back with Chapter 1, Day 5. It's Estimate Roots and Compare Numbers. Okay, with me, your math teacher, Mr. Haynes. So, let's dive right into our essential question and figure out what we're focusing on today. How can I estimate numbers written in different forms? Okay, so the key word here is estimate and different forms. So, estimation means that I don't have to, and if you're screaming at your screen, give the exact answer. You're right. So let's get it close enough and then compare them. All right. Mathematical practice number 2. Think about numbers in different ways. All right, diving right in, let's take a look at what we already know. We know that a 6 to the negative 3 is equal to 1/6. We also know that if my negative exponent is in the denominator, it doesn't make a difference if it's in the numerator or the denominator. It tells me to change location. So b, of course, is x squared. And 7 to the negative 4th, and the rest of the problems are numbers that you're going to complete on your own. Go ahead and pause the video. There will be no answers, as you saw by me clicking through to the next screen on the next slide. So go ahead and complete these on your own. Just check for understanding to make sure you remember how to write the negative exponents using a positive exponent. I'll be here when you get back. All right, here we go with C, D, E, and F. I hope you completed those because we're going to launch right into these. Okay, cool. Let's get G, H, and I, and J. This is a T, not a chopped off E. I'm going to go ahead and suggest that you pause the video again. Let's make sure that we know how to write negative exponents with a positive exponent. And don't let H throw you off. That negative 2, it should stay negative 2. I'm going to go ahead and suggest that you pause the video and complete these problems on your own. If you're in my class, there will be people doing these on the board, not me, Mr. Hayne. So go ahead and complete these. I'll be here when you get back and you are done. Show all your work. All right, so we are back. Okay, so let's dive into what estimating roots means. Okay, so square root of 110. So 10 times 10 is 100, which is less than 110. And 11 times 11 is 121, which is definitely more than 110. So I don't want to know exactly what 110 is. I want to know the two numbers that's in between, and I kind of want to see where it is. And 100 and 121 are really close, so I'm going to put that right in the middle. So how do I put it where I did? Square root of 110 is in between 100 and 121. It's almost smack dab in the middle, so it's right almost in the middle here. Estimating doesn't mean I have to be exact. Obviously, if you put the square root of 110 all the way over here next to the 10, that would be wrong because it's not 110 is not super close to 100 and far away from 121. Same thing if you put the square root of 110 right up here next to the 11. Wouldn't make sense. Deserves to be in the middle. Cool. All right, so we talked about why it's between those two numbers. 10 times 10 is 100, 11 times 11 is a 121, and 110 is in between those two numbers. Sweet. And here's the mathematical proof of why I have those numbers on the number line. And here you go. So I'm going to step through these real quickly. I'm only going to have the dot, quote unquote, for L. N, M, N, O, P, and Q you're going to do on your own. Here's the thing though, like I have the number lines drawn for you, but I'm going to just discuss what numbers they should go between. So let's take a quick look at L. So 35, 6 times 6 is 36, so 5 times 5 is 25, and so I have the numbers between 5 and 6. And 35 is super close to 36, which is 6 times 6, so I'm going to put that dot right up near the 6. Sweet. Yours could be a little bit closer. It's definitely not going to be down by the 5 or in the middle because it's really close to 6. So 44.8. Don't let the decimal fool you. 6 times 6 is 36. 7 times 7 is 49. So I got 6 and 7. Cool. For P, 11 and 12. 11 times 11 is 121. 12 times 12 is 144. Let's take a look at M. 170. Sounds like 13 and 14. 13 times 13 is 169, and 14 times 14 is 196. And remember, these numbers that I'm getting at the bottom are just the numbers that are in between, whose squares this number is in between, the number that we're taking the square root of. All right, cool. So now that we have those numbers, I'm going to go ahead and suggest that you pause the video. I know this video is going to be real short in real time, but it's going to be a lot of work in your time. So go ahead and pause the video and place the dots that give the estimate for where on the number line these roots should be placed. Is 44.8 closer to 49 or 36? That's what I mean. Take a look at example L if you need help, and go ahead and pause the video. I'll be here when you get back. And we're back. Okay, so I'm going to take this to the next level, for example S, and I'm going to order these rational numbers. So it gives me a set of all of these different kinds of rational numbers, and really, they're all different. I guess you could argue that 6 and 5.36 repeating are both decimal numbers in standard form, and that's fine, but I have a square root and I got a number with a fraction, a mixed number. So in order for me to make a comparison intelligently, first I'm going to set up a number line. It looks like all these numbers are between 5 and 6. And then I'm going to rewrite each number in this set as the same kind of number. And since two of them are already standard forms with decimals, I'm going to rewrite the other numbers in the same way. So the square root of 30 is about 5.5 because I used a calculator, which is allowed, at least in my math classroom. 6 does equal to 6, and 5 and 4/5 does equal 5.8 or 5 and 8/10. Now 5 and 5.36 and just the 6 repeating is already a decimal, so I made an error when I put the line over the 3. Those of you looking at the video have a problem because those of you listening know the correct written form, which is just like this. And I'm going to take each of these and I'm going to place them on my number line. You don't need me to do that for you. Go ahead and pause the video, place those numbers, the square root of 30, 6, 5 and 4/5, and 5.3, and just the 6 repeating on this number line in order, and label them. I'll be here when you get back. Okie dokie, so now on to our final example. It's the exact same type of problem. Really, you need to turn the numbers in our number set into decimals. When you do, you can check with a partner if you're in the classroom. And then you want to place them on the number line between 2 and 2.3. Sweet. There is no answer for this. You need to show your work. Use a calculator if you need to. And you got this skadoosh. Pause the video. There will be no answers, but I would suggest that you pause the video, complete it before you going on to before continuing. I'll be here when you get back. And we're back. If you're in my class, you better write that summary, answer your essential questions, and make sure that your table of contents is updated. And until next time, guys, keep doing the math.